Look at you, I can't believe this.
Yo, this is wild.
She's drenched. What are you doing?
Hey, why would you do this to me?
Did she really pour it on her? No. Not again. Marcus doesn't know. He stood unseen in the hallway as red wine slid down his black mother's dress and his wife's laugh. Tried to pass it off as a trick. The room froze, then pretended not to. In that suspended second, Marcus felt his marriage crack and his childhood rise in defense of the woman who raised him. This is the story of a husband who never expected to witness his wife humiliating his black mother again, until the hallway caught the truth. Welcome, story lovers. From where are you watching? Hit the like button and drop your city name in the comments so we can see how far our story travels. On the quiet edge of Maplewood, a suburb proud of trimmed lawns and courteous waves, Marcus Reed had built a life that seemed simple. At 34, he was an architect with a steady reputation, known for clean designs and calmer nerves. His weekdays followed a comforting rhythm: early trains into the city, long hours drafting schools and clinics, evening runs past the river. Then dinner in the pale brick townhouse he shared with his wife Claire. Their home smelled of coffee in the morning and rosemary at night, and Marcus liked believing that order meant safety. Every framed photo and neatly stacked bill felt like a promise kept. He hadn't grown up with sanctuaries. His mother, Evelyn, raised him in a tight apartment across town, stretching paychecks and faith into something like security. She taught him to speak gently, work hard, and never let anyone make him feel smaller than he was. When a mild stroke slowed her last year, Marcus brought her to live with them for rehabilitation. Evelyn was 62, sharp-eyed and warm, moving slower now, but refusing pity. She spent mornings reading by the bay window and afternoons humming hymns. While she watered porch plants, Claire had welcomed her at first. She cleared out a downstairs room, ordered pill organizers, and posted smiling photos about family healing. Claire herself was rising fast in marketing. Quick with charm, admired by friends and coworkers. Marcus loved her ambition, and he believed their marriage could hold any challenge if they stayed kind. He pictured the three of them learning a new normal together. A household where love widened instead of tightening. But lately he'd started noticing drafts in that kindness. A too bright smile when Evelyn entered the kitchen, a sigh about mess, a joke that landed oddly and then vanished. Marcus told himself it was stress, the strain of promotions and caregiving. He promised himself patience would smooth the edges. He didn't know the hallway between living room and kitchen was about to catch a moment no one could smooth away. And he was still waiting to understand why fully yet. The first sharp moments surfaced after a Sunday brunch Claire hosted for her sister and two neighbors. The table was bright with fruit and white linen, and Marcus kept glancing at Evelyn to make sure she felt included. When Evelyn stood to refill her tea, Claire slipped past her and said in a sing-song voice that certain cups were for guests, handing Evelyn a plain mug instead. Everyone laughed politely, as if it were harmless. Marcus felt a sting he couldn't place. After the guests left, he heard Claire on the phone in the dining room. Her voice turned hard in the quiet house. She complained that Evelyn made gatherings awkward, that she never knows when to sit down, that her questions were exhausting. When Marcus mentioned it later, Claire waved it away, saying he was being sensitive and that she adored his mother. The gap between her words and the edge in her tone unsettled him. Over the next weeks, the comments grew bolder. Claire labeled cabinets, telling Evelyn where to store food and which towels were hers. When Evelyn cooked, Claire opened windows theatrically. Sighing about smells clinging, Evelyn watched television, Claire muttered about volume. None of it was a single explosion. It was a drip that said Evelyn should be grateful for space. Marcus tried to mend things. He bought air fresheners, suggested they cook together, and planned quiet date nights. Each fix felt like plaster on a crack that widened the moment he looked away. One evening, Marcus arrived home early and found Evelyn sitting very still on the couch, eyes glossy. She said she'd asked for an extra blanket, and Claire had snapped that she was rummaging. Marcus went to Claire, expecting regret, but she fired back that Evelyn played helpless to control him. When Marcus insisted on kindness, Claire accused him of turning everything into a race issue at a charity dinner for his firm. Claire introduced him to a donor as surprisingly talented. When he corrected a detail about a project, she teased that he was being aggressive. People smiled. Marcus felt reduced to a stereotype. In the car, he told her it hurt, and she replied that he was overreacting. Evelyn began shrinking. She ate upstairs to avoid the kitchen and stopped humming. When Marcus asked if she was okay, she offered the soft, practiced smile Black mothers use when they refuse to hand their pain to their children. Then came Claire's promotion night. Her coworkers filled the living room with clinking glasses and congratulations. Marcus moved through the room like a careful host. Evelyn came downstairs to toast her properly, wearing a cobalt dress and pearl earrings. When Evelyn lifted a glass of sparkling water, Claire joked that she should drink real wine like everyone else. Evelyn explained calmly that alcohol and medication didn't mix. Claire's face tightened. She leaned in, hissed about not ruining the mood, and with a swift tilt poured her wine down Evelyn's chest and into her lap. Red spread across cobalt like a bruise. The room went silent, then tried to pretend it had not happened. Evelyn stood frozen, set her glass down with trembling care, and walked to the bathroom without looking at anyone. Marcus stayed in the hallway, half hidden by the doorframe, while Claire laughed in the living room as if cruelty were a joke. His heartbeat sounded ancient in his ears. From the bathroom came running water, then a hush that felt heavier than any shout. Claire reached for another bottle, still unaware he was there. She shrugged to her coworkers and said Evelyn was always too sensitive, always playing the victim, always bringing that energy into their home. The words were casual, confident, and cruel. A few people chuckled uncertainly, grateful for her lead. The hardwood creaked as Marcus stepped out. Claire turned, smile ready, then faltered at his face. He didn't yell. His voice stayed level, but every syllable carried thunder. He said everyone had seen what she did, and so had he. He named it plainly: humiliation, contempt, racism disguised as refinement. The room stiffened. Glasses lowered. Eyes slid away. Claire insisted it was an accident, that he was overreacting, that he was embarrassing her. Marcus replied that the only embarrassment was her choice to degrade the woman who raised him. He walked past her, knocked once, and opened the bathroom door. Evelyn looked up, cheeks damp, hands steadying the stained fabric. Marcus offered his arm and told her they were leaving, together, right now, with no more excuses. He looked back once at the silent party, daring anyone to deny what they had seen. Dear audience, where are you watching from? Drop your city name in the comments. Night air cooled the wine on Evelyn's dress as Marcus drove away. He kept the radio off, letting silence hold what words couldn't. At a red light, he apologized for not seeing sooner. Evelyn squeezed his hand and said she had survived harsher storms. But disrespect from inside a family home cut deepest. Marcus felt the truth settle his silence had not been neutral. It had been permission. The next morning, he told Claire he wanted separation. Caregiving was hard, he said, but prejudice was a choice. Claire cycled through denial, tears, and anger, but none of it erased the stain he had witnessed. Marcus arranged counseling, hired a mediator, and moved with Evelyn into a smaller apartment closer to his work. Friends helped carry boxes without asking for explanations. Two of Claire's coworkers sent quiet apologies to Evelyn, admitting they had been too shocked to speak. In the new place, Evelyn reclaimed the kitchen. The sense of ginger, thyme, and simmering greens filled rooms that no one asked her to shrink in. She began humming again, first softly, then full. Marcus watched her heal and understood that recovery is also about space where a person can exist without being supervised or minimized. Months later, Marcus spoke at a community forum on elder care and bias. He described how racism hides behind etiquette and how love demands confrontation when harm wears a familiar face. If truth can break a family, what was that family built on to begin with, really?